What's up, you guys? Hannah Rose here. So I have previously talked about how to get a good night shift sleep, but I haven't really talked about different schedules and patterns that you can do to get enough sleep. So I'm going to talk about that this week, and hopefully it will be helpful. I've gotten a couple questions on how to get enough sleep and what my sleep pattern looks like. So I'm hoping that this video will answer those questions. So let's get started. Okay, the first one that we're going to go through is what I like to call the complete flip. So if you work night shifts, you're obviously awake during the night, and some people, I think I only know like one person that does this, is completely flip their schedule. So that means when you get off of work, you go to bed obviously during the day, and then on your days off, you keep that schedule so that you are awake at night. There's a couple downsides with this, and the big one is that like the grocery store is often like not open during the nighttime very late, so you have to be careful when you wake up. I would suggest like waking up around 4 or 5 and then getting all of your chores done, like appointments or grocery store or anything like that in between, 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock, because that's when things are open, and then doing the rest of your stuff that you can get done at home before you go to bed at like 4 or 5 a.m. and then you're sleeping during the day and then doing it all over again. This one is not for me just because I like to be awake to see the sun on my days off, and I also just like to have a life during the day. So, but I do know someone that this works perfectly for. So if this one works great for you, then definitely go with that. So the second option I like to call the napping method, and that's basically because it's largely based off of like 4-hour naps. So the way this goes is you just worked 3 in a row. Let's say you come home and you are super exhausted. So let's say I get home at 8 o'clock and you go to bed and you take like a 4-hour nap, set your alarm for 12 o'clock, get up at 12 o'clock, and then you're awake for, let's say, I don't know, however long you want to be awake, and then you go to bed at a normal hour. So you go to bed, let's say 10 o'clock that night, you've then successfully flipped your schedule back to a normal schedule. That way, when your next block of shifts come up that you need to work, you sleep the night before like normal, and then I normally get up in the morning, maybe go to the gym, make some breakfast, do whatever I need to in the morning, but then around like 12 or 1, I go back to bed to take a nap again, the napping method, for like 4 or 5 hours, and then I would get up for my shift and go to work. That way you have some sleep under your belt that's nice and fresh for that shift, and you're not just going from the night before's sleep, because that would be, for me, super exhausting. So I highly recommend this one. This one is actually my favorite when I can successfully flip my schedule back on the first day back from that block of 3 shifts. Sometimes I'm just so exhausted that I forget to set my alarm, or my alarm goes off and I stay in the bed. So if you can successfully get your butt out of the bed after your first nap, after those shifts, then I think this one is super successful for night shifters, so I highly recommend trying it. The final method is the one that I call the best of both worlds method, and that's because this is how it works. So you just finished your 3 shifts and you come home, and the way this works is that you don't go to sleep until that night. So you stay awake all day. And I have actually never tried this one because I'm always super tired when I come home from my 3 shifts, but I have found that this one works better for nurses that have kids, and I think that's because, kids have activities during the day, or you want to drop them off at school, or you just want to spend time with them, whatever the reason is. And I don't know if it's like by default or if it's, because you have to, because you're a mom, and I think that's awesome. But I think that this one is super awesome because you kind of get the best of both worlds, hence the name. because you can flip your schedule back successfully, but also get the awesomeness of night shift. And then when your next block of shifts come up, you can either do what you do with the napping method, so you can take a nap before that shift during the nighttime, or you can just, you're sleeping during the nighttime, and then you can just stay awake all day and like hang out with your kids, or if you don't have kids, you can, just do whatever you're doing during the day and then go to work that night and then sleep the next day so that you're tired enough to sleep during the day, because you're obviously not used to it. So I have actually never tried this one, like I said, but it works well for a lot of nurses. So I hope that it's helpful for some of you to try this one. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I hope you guys picked up some tips on different sleep patterns that you could do and maybe how to see the sun on your days off. If it was helpful, hit that subscribe button. And as usual, you can always reach out to me on my social media or drop a comment on here. If you have a different sleep pattern that you do, definitely drop a comment or reach out to me. As usual, there'll be a cute video of Charlie at the end. So stay tuned and thanks for watching.
Like that tonight. Things must be looking up. You need to clean clothes. Clothes all out.